Thank you for letting us in.
I was burying bodies out in the desert.
Neighbors claimed they practice witchcraft.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your favorite spooky podcast, that being the Haunted Heart Podcast. I'm your host, Kenny.
And I'm just some bitch that's
and this
just
is
over
just
here.
some bitch over here.
I just stumbled in off the street.
I just found her
100 and some episodes ago.
Listen, I just went and I got in my truck one night and I was going to the Walmart.
I got my truck one night.
I did. And I got my truck one night and went to the Walmart. And I was going to go pick me up some of that good deli chicken.
Oh, yeah.
But instead, I ended up with this one right here.
Picking you up some other kind of chicken.
I picked up the other white meat right here. Put it in my truck, took it home, and that's how it's been ever since.
That's how it's been. That's
how
the
it's
story.
been.
It's a tale as old as time.
Beauty and the...
We're going to get sued.
Oh, no. Fuck. That's right. We can't do that because Disney is a fucking horrible monster, a corporate monster.
Disney will destroy your entire life. It's
you
fine.
will.
I'm just going to adjust my mic while I'm on the air.
That's always great.
Yeah.
We're 100 and
worked
something
out.
episodes in, and
You know, I
still-
remember when I used to perch so that no part of my body would touch any other part of my body, and we would turn the air off and we would unplug the fucking fridge and we would just sweat.
I'm going to tell you what. See, the thing is, and we don't realize this, is that there are people that may be, just now discovering us and starting at those episodes.
Oh, God.
So if that's you, you're not listening to this right now because you're back then. But when you get here,
You're
just
welcome.
know that, it got better.
It's been a long road.
No, I remember the struggle those days. I mean,
It was hot.
The air
we're still always
conditioning.
hot,
Because we were
but-
trying to record right by the fucking AC unit. Like, what
Yeah.
kind of podcasters are like?
I mean, but there really wasn't space. I don't know. There was just a lot. There was just a lot in those days. But
Yeah.
it seems like every new person that is joining the Facebook group and chatting, they're like, "Oh, I started at the beginning." I'm just like, "Why do you people do this? It's not
would
an
do that.
episodic show. It's not serial. It's not any of that. We just talk a bunch of bullshit every week. So just start with the good audio. I mean, this being the good audio. You might not be able to tell depending on where you came to us from, but this is the good audio for us around here.
Oh, the days of yore.
Mm-hmm.
But
now
yeah,
we have swingy mics that
we
I
do.
can smack
we
into
got
and
swingy mics that
not care as much.
allow us to, it just. Sometimes though, when you hit them, it seems like they make more noise. You know what I mean? They're
Absolutely.
great at preventing noise, but when
Yes.
you do hit them, it's like
That's it. It's over for you.
it's like crazy.
You're done.
Finite.
Yeah.
Fin.
Finite. Finito. Finite.
I think that's a Harry Potter reference, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
It might be Finite. I think that's maybe a
Is
spell,
it?
girl. I don't know.
I just thought you were
I don't
misquoting
know.
Italian, babe.
Nah.
All right.
I mean, maybe I am. I
Maybe.
don't really fucking know.
Maybe J.K. Rowling was. She was wrong about a lot of things,
Pretty much.
apparently. Yeah, so we're back this week. Anyway,
Insert awkward silence.
sorry, I just had a stroke. No, I how did we podcast? I just completely fucking forgot.
No, I love that though because it's that dread that's like,
No, we're back.
We're back.
Stares into the flame. I literally just started staring at the candle. No, we're back. We hope you're well. We hope you and yours are healthy and sane and staying safe and
staying cool.
living
also.
your life, staying cool. It's been
Damn.
a scorcher out there, folks. Is this our disc jockey
Welcome to
moment?
us. Welcome to us. If we did the fucking weather,
Yeah.
it's too goddamn hot outside.
Too hot
With
out here.
someone's like, and now to Kenny for the weather. It's too fucking hot. And I'm just sitting there with fucking wide eyes and my damn just full of sweat and like a white t-shirt, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm going through like some sort of heat rash sort of situation. I just want to scratch all my skin off. So it's either that or I'm turning into the Fly, like Jeff Goldblum.
Oh.
So I'm crossing my fingers for heat rash. So hopefully Benadryl will do the trick and I won't remove my flesh.
Maybe Jeff Goldblum should have taken some Benadryl.
Maybe Jeff Goldblum should put Benadryl cream on me. And
That's
then
true.
I would feel better.
That's true. And one of his like Jeff Goldblum like suits that he wears.
He would do that. I feel like he would do that. I'd be like, hey,
Oh, totally.
I got a heat rash situation.
1,000%.
Can you just apply some topical ointment? Why is this a topic for the podcast? Anyway.
They don't know. I mean, they know how it goes
don't
right
know.
now. They don't listen. They know, but they don't know. Who fucking knows? We don't know. Nobody fucking knows anything anymore. So who really gives a shit? I mean, we're here today and we're going to talk to you about some shit. It's not my fucking week to sit here and talk to you about it. I had a fucking, really heavy workload today, and I am just ready to just sit
for
back
some relaxation.
and for some relaxation, which I'm not going to get because it's a Katie episode, and we all know how she likes to mind fuck everybody.
Oh,
That's like
I'm
her
excited for
favorite thing.
this week. I'm very excited for
And
this
that
week.
and that terrifies me. That scares me. When you
I saw that like slight flinch earlier when I was like, "Oh, I'm excited for my topic tonight," and you were like, "Good."
great. I'm so glad that you are.
No, it'll be fun. It's a fun one. So I kind of struggled because initially I was going to do this. Like I had found this article. You guys know my one of my favorite blogs, The Ghosts in My Machine. Online, you can just search The Ghosts in My Machine blog and it'll pull it up on Google. It's a woman. Her name just completely escapes me right now. But she lives in DC. So she's like in our area, and she writes this really awesome blog with all kinds of spooky content. I've covered stories that she has talked about on there before, and I had sort of like earmarked one of the stories that she had talked about. And it was one of those things where like I saw the subject line, and it was like doppelganger telephone numbers in Japan. And it was like apparently these like weird phone numbers where you call and like you get yourself.
Oh.
And if you listen long enough, like the you on the other end of the line stops just repeating you, and then it starts saying like other words and like other things, and it'll just like repeat like random phrases that you're not saying. And apparently you die like 3 days after you meet your doppelganger or whatever. But I went to digging deeper into it. I read about it and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, we're absolutely talking about this. But then I dug deeper, and it's basically just an audio test line for the phone.
Oh, I mean, but it.
Like, it's just to test your audio quality.
Okay, but like, you still die though because
Well, there wasn't any confirmation.
I mean, you still die. Like, I don't think that's a. I don't
You die 3 days after testing your
I
audio.
don't know that I want to test my audio. I mean, shit,
I think it'll
that
be
makes-
just fine.
I mean, shit. I mean,
We have
whatever.
learned our lesson not testing audio on this show before, have we not?
We have.
Have we not? PBS
have.
interview that we fucked up.
That goddamn
that
PBS
metronome.
fucking interview.
Patreon knows what we're talking about. The whole thing's available for you on Patreon if you can stomach the fucking edited out like metronome clicks. So
It's listen. That's a sore spot for me as the editor.
it's tough.
It's hard.
It was a tough time. Anyway,
That was our shot, and we fucked it up.
yeah, if you're on Patreon, check it out. We did an interview with
Some really cool person from PBS who has like a big YouTube channel and like works for fucking PVC.
PVC. QVC. Yeah, no, but it is actually on Patreon if you wanna try. It was a great fucking interview. Anyway, enough of that before I get too sad.
Fucking crying over here.
Anyway, yeah, so basically it just kind of turned into, that story was one of, and I know this has probably happened to you, like I found it and I was like, this is fucking awesome, so I earmarked it and I like saved it, and like weeks later I go back and like I read the whole article, and it's just like, as I'm doing more and more research, it just rapidly just like
disintegrates.
completely disintegrates through my fingers, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there went my story that I was gonna fucking talk about this week.
I've done that because usually it's just so like one note, or
Yeah.
like I'll find something really cool and then it's like, well, that's it. It's like a paragraph, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the whole story. Like, there's some YouTube videos that I could play for you of, like, people calling the numbers and freaking out. But, like, that's basically all I
one
can
day-
give you.
Maybe one day we could do a compilation of like, one
Our
note,
failed
like,
stories.
failed
Yeah.
stories.
I mean, I was so excited
like-
because it sounded so fucking cool. And then when I realized it was just, like, a test audio line and that's literally it, like, I was like, damn. I'm like, I cannot come to them with this because they'll be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, or like one note horror stories, or like one note something. I
It's
don't
too
know.
hot. One day the sun rose. It was 2020. That's it. It's the whole horror story right there.
One day you woke up in 2020.
Yeah. I think we covered like the short creepypastas or like the one sentence horror stories. I think we did an episode.
We did
with those.
I believe.
They're
Way on
fun.
back. Who knows?
Yeah. It's been a while.
We could go back to that when we get lazy.
True. I was thinking about hitting y'all with a creepypasta episode, but I said no. So my first story just rapidly disintegrates, and after I got over that, I was like, maybe I should just read some fucking creepypastas. And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that because I actually do. I do have a pile of some pretty good ones that we could get into at some point, but I was like, well, I have this other story that's been on my list for a really long time, and I've really wanted to cover it, but I've shied away from it because sometimes you just love something too much, and you just really don't want to fuck it up, and you kind of shy away from it, and that was my situation.
Okay.
But I said, you know what? I said I want to put out a good episode. I want to do a good job. So I'm going to go for it. So today we're going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. And that's all. That's all I'm going to say for now.
Wait, what? You're not even gonna fucking tell me what it is?
No, I'm not. I'm going to lead you in.
Oh, god damn it!
gonna
Wait,
lead you in.
whoa! You're doing a lead in. Does this mean are you requiring editing from me?
No. I'm
Thank
not.
God.
I'm not. I'm not. No, it ain't gonna be like that. It ain't gonna be like that.
Oh,
but
God.
so one of the
Okay.
things that kind of like pulled all this together, and it was totally not the fact that my story had disintegrated
That's where I was going.
in my hands, and then I just decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna listen to a podcast instead of doing work for my own podcast. That's definitely not what happened. But coincidentally, no connection at all, I have been falling in love with a new podcast called Old Gods of Appalachia. Have you ever listened to it?
No, but it sounds fucking amazing.
Does it not? Somebody told me about this, and I was like, and somebody like totally out of like my podcast circles or anything. It was mentioned to me, and they were like, "You would love this podcast," and I was like, I mean, based on the name alone, I'm immediately gonna go listen to it. I have to be honest. One of the reasons that I went immediately to listen to it was to hear whether they were going to pronounce Appalachia right.
I was waiting for that.
My kind of right. It's okay. I see you, PA. I know Pennsylvania people. You do say Appalachia, and I've learned to love you. It hurts me somewhere deep, but I still love you because you also have a part of Appalachia in you. So you call that part whatever you want. If we get down here to Virginia, we're going to call it Appalachia.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If I come see you in PA, I'll call it Appalachia. I'll call it whatever the fuck you want. But down here in Virginia, you going to call it Appalachia, or we going to throw an Appalachia sugar.
Yes.
So, and I'm happy to report that they do pronounce it Old Gods of Appalachia.
All right.
Bless.
Okay, cool.
So this podcast is absolutely amazing. It kind of reminds me of like Southern Gothic vibes.
We love Southern Gothic.
Yes. Southern Gothic is another amazing podcast. Definitely go check that one out if you don't listen to it already. But it kind of reminds me of that, but it's much more concerned with exploring the mythology and lore of Appalachia as opposed to like real like cases. Well, real depends on how you define real. However, it's much more into like the lore and the like spooky myths and things like that. So while I was listening to Delectable Spooky Myths of the Darker Undercurrent of Appalachian Society.
Is that an episode?
Oh, that's like all the episodes.
Oh.
It's like Old Gods of Appalachia. It's like there's shit out here in these woods. Like, I mean,
Wow, some shit out here in these woods.
Yeah. Basically, it's talking about like all the different like cool like just fucked up shit that we have in Appalachia. And we're just like, oh yeah, that's just, you know, the fucking inverted cow beast that just walks around and steals children. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You know?
Don't worry about it.
Just don't worry about it.
It's just me.
That's just old Cletus. He'd be all right.
Oh, God.
You ain't got to worry about it. Just leave him a couple Bud Lights on the porch. I highly, highly recommend it. The like narrator's voice is amazing. The theme
important.
song is amazing.
Also
like,
important.
It's like so fucking. Whew, it's just so good. It's so good. So while I was listening to that, it kind of put me in the mood to talk about some cryptids.
Ooh, cryptids. We haven't done that in a while.
We haven't.
It's been a minute.
We have not. We have not, because I have had one particular cryptid in mind that I very much wanted to talk about, but I was very nervous. Fuck you for guessing it right off. I had a whole thing written. I was like, oh, actually, we're going to talk about one cryptid in particular, one of the insect variety. I was going to lead us in, and then you just shit all over it. This intro was going to be like fucking 5 more minutes.
I didn't think it was going to be.
Why the fuck would it not be? Why would it be anybody else? I love.
But I thought that was the fake. I thought you were going that was the fake. Like you were going to lead into thinking that it was the.
I never joke about my love for. I
thought you were going to go elsewhere with it. That's why I said that.
No.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
It's fine. It's okay. It didn't ruin anything.
You just didn't ruin anything. You didn't ruin my whole fucking opening spiel.
You didn't. No, I'm going to do it anyway, though. I don't give a fuck.
It's okay. You know what?
Just pretend you don't know.
You know what? I'm going to pretend I don't know. And then
you could bleep it. You could bleep it.
Bleep what?
Oh, we just said it like 18 times, though.
I'll bleep it.
You can bleep it. You're going to bleep it. All right. So the listeners have no idea.
So fucking more editing for me.
Enjoy. Enjoy. No, I'm going to do my intro anyway. Okay. You ready? You ready? We're going in.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know and I know.
I don't know.
They don't know. They don't know that we're talking.
Unless I forget a bleep.
Unless we forget. We probably will. Fucking Salem Witchcraft episode that we uploaded the raw file instead of the edited version, but it's all right. Okay. Let's set the sheen.
Set the shit.
Let's set the sheen.
You are talking about me fucking it up and you can't even.
God, I'm
Get your
doing
own shit.
I'm doing dishonor to the name of. Okay. We're ready? We're professionals. Okay, so we're going to set the scene. Our story begins on a dark, cool autumn night in 1966. Although most consider the specific beastie we'll be talking about today, which you guys have no idea, to be irrevocably linked to the history of the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, our story actually begins in Clendenin, located just over an hour southeast of Point Pleasant. It was there that on November 12th, 1966, 5 men saw something that they couldn't explain. The men were gathered together in a cemetery, of all places, preparing a grave for burial when they noticed a rustling in the nearby tree line. As the men directed their gaze to the trees, they say an incomprehensible brown winged creature lifted off into the air. What could it be? An unusually large hawk? A falcon? No. All 5 men remained firm in the belief that the creature they saw that day was no bird, for they had seen its humanoid features, its brown winged body silhouetted against the dusky evening sky. They had seen the Mothman.
Mothman!
Yes, Mothman, the motherfucker, the original motherfucker. Mothman, yo daddy.
The original
Daddy
moth fucking motherfucker.
When I tell you that I fucking stan the Mothman.
Really?
I fuck with the Mothman. I love him.
I'm concerned.
Mothman
is probably concerned.
Mothman is, if Mothman is anything like the men in my life and adjacent to my life, Mothman is frightened by my aggressive female sexual energy. However, I don't believe that he is, because I love Mothman, and I think that Mothman is here for all of us.
Okay.
He's always here for us.
Are you sure about that?
I do believe so.
Okay.
I do believe so. I love Mothman.
So here's the thing. I actually don't know jack shit about Mothman.
I'm so excited to bring you into the fold.
So, yeah, I obviously have heard of Mothman.
Yeah.
As you could tell, I spoiled Katie's.
I mean, I've heard.
intro.
I mean, yeah. You're coming at me like, oh, is it exactly this that I know nothing about and have never spoken to you about?
I don't know. I know jack shit about the Mothman, and I am so excited to be inducted into the Mothman sanctum.
I guess. Yes, that sounds good. Yep.
I didn't know where you were going with this, though, because we were talking about Appalachia, right? And I was just like, oh, this is really interesting, because I think Appalachia is like a really beautiful, really
rich history.
creepy,
bunch of fucking weird ass shit going on out here.
And, there's lots of special Appalachian folk magic and stuff like that. And it gets really it gets really, like you said, rich in history, and it's really interesting. So I think, and it's also an area that we don't really cover a lot of, or an area that we have talked about personally on the show a whole lot.
That's true. Probably because I don't know if this is true for you, but I know for me, a lot of that still kind of fucks with me because it's a little too close to home. You know what I'm saying? I can talk about an abandoned cave in fucking Nevada or wherever.
Actually, I talked about an abandoned cave.
Well, no, but I mean, different.
Arizona.
You did that. You did that one. No, but I mean, it's different to kind of talk about, I don't know. It's digging into that rich history. I know a lot about it, but it's so close to home that it's almost just I don't know. I would like to talk more about it on the show for sure. Because there's all kinds of fucking weird shit that goes on in Appalachia. And it's so it's not very hidden, most of it. Most people would just fucking come up to you and just talk to you about the crazy, like I said, the crazy inverted cow beast that's just stealing fucking children. It's just a thing that happens, and it's fine.
Sounds interesting to me. I mean, shit, might be my next fucking episode.
Yes. So we're zeroing in on West Virginia, and we're doing it in the time of the poodle skirts and the cropped sweaters, baby. I'm talking leather jackets. I'm talking greasers. I'm talking high fashion.
You're talking fucking, what's his name from that? Danny Zuko?
Yeah, Danny Zuko.
You're talking that?
Yeah. John Travolta.
Grease
I'm talking
Lightning,
Rizzo.
Rizzo.
Talking fucking Stalker Channing and her fucking
Stalker Channing, so iconic.
Knocked up Stalker Channing.
She's such an iconic person.
She is a queen.
Literally.
An icon. An icon. I feel about Stalker Channing the way that people feel about Marilyn Monroe. And that's truth. That is truth.
And that's
every time I see her, I'm like, that's my babe. Why did I get a little
bit of that fucking, who's that girl that you JC, what's her name?
Oh my god, Gemma Collins.
Gemma Collins.
Yes.
I don't know why. Something, the way that you said that reminded me of Gemma Collins.
Yeah, Gemma Collins is amazing. If you don't know her, look her up on Instagram. She's an icon. I also feel about her the way people feel about Marilyn Monroe. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So we have to be very serious this week.
I know. They're like, fuck.
This week we are cryptozoologists. This week we are coming here to you as scientists. And we are here to fucking talk about the T on Mothman.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go through it. All right.
Yes.
So, on November 12th, 1966, we got these 5 men. They dig in a grave at dusk. I don't know why they dig in it at dusk. Maybe they put it off. They see this fucking magnificent beast lift into the air, and they're like, what the fuck just happened? And it's not just one dude. It's 5 dudes. All 5 dudes see the same thing. All 5 dudes are like fucking freaked out of their minds, right?
Okay, yes. 5 Appalachian men.
Yes. So in the day that happens, about like an hour southeast of Point Pleasant, right? That's kind of like the precursor. And then in the days and weeks that followed, word of the Mothman spread like fire through the surrounding areas. This is not unusual for Appalachia. The creature was sighted in many places across West Virginia and surrounding states, but the largest number of sightings seemed to take place suspiciously close to the old West Virginia Ordnance Works, an area now known by locals more simply as the TNT area.
TNT area.
TNT area because they, I guess, used a lot of like dynamite and explosives and shit. The West Virginia Ordnance Works is an abandoned munitions to the north of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, that dates all the way back to World War II. So the facility during its operation actually manufactured ammunition and dynamite, hence the TNT area.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
The surrounding area is mostly forest, dotted with numerous grassy clearings and thick concrete domes, referred to by locals as igloos because of their uncanny resemblance to the ice structures, and those igloos were used to store barrels of gunpowder.
Oh.
So the area is also riddled with abandoned tunnels because dynamite, y'all blowing shit up, most of which have collapsed, been sealed off, or have become flooded with water. It's now a wildlife sanctuary called McClintic Wildlife, or it may be like operated by McClintic Wildlife Management. But the whole area is just like a really spooky place. Like I would really love to go there one day. It has a very questionable history because while it's well known that they were manufacturing ammunition and dynamite, there may or may not have been some early like nuclear bullshit going on there.
Nuclear bullshit.
Because in 1979, fishermen in the TNT area reported that chemicals had been left to seep into ponds, causing like environmental disaster. By the year 1983, the TNT area was among the country's most polluted sites. So some type of shit was going on there.
Some nuclear bullshit. Director of nuclear bullshit.
Director of nuclear bullshit.
Knew what was going on. Something was happening. You know, they got all of those. That's the type of shit that I would think you would do more in the desert versus in like
right next to where people fucking live.
Right next to where people fucking live.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't fucking know. Do I look like I'm the director of nuclear bullshit? No. I mean, who got that job?
I guess it's possible that like if they were doing this like tunneling thing and testing dynamite and stuff, it's possible that potentially they could have like unknowingly like exploded some ore under like a mountain or whatever, and that like iron ore or whatever type of mineral ore that like then seeped into the water, and maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be nuclear, but
I'm going with nuclear.
I have like weird suspicions about how all of that went down because this whole story really centers on this TNT area, and I feel like there's some type of bullshit going down there.
I picture the story if we're in the whenever. So we're in the 70s now, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
70s, 80s?
Well, no, late 60s.
Late 60s. I just really picture like a couple of young teens going up somewhere thinking that they're going to have like a nice quiet time by themselves. And, you know, they see a little like, you know, little swimming hole, if you will. And they're just like, you know, trying to do a little skinny dipping maybe. And then they get in and then burn their flesh right off. Yeah.
The Mothman just fucking rises with like a fucking 8-pack and steals your girl. And then sad boy.
Sad boy. Not glad boy.
Yes. So I think it's particularly interesting that it was the TNT area where most of the sightings had, and the TNT area where one of the most important sightings took place. on the night of November 15th, 1966. So 3 days after the first Mothman sighting took place, those 5 men in the graveyard. 3 days afterward, we have two young couples.
Aha!
Two young couples. Roger and Linda Scarberry were driving in Roger's black 57 Chevy Bel Air, which I have to say sounds like a fucking dream, honestly.
I mean,
An all-black 57 Chevy Bel Air. Yes, ma'am.
you like a Chevy.
I do. I love a Chevy. So Roger and Linda Scarberry are driving in Roger's car with Steve and Mary Millette through the area around midnight when Linda noticed, unbelievably, two large glowing red eyes in the darkness beside the Old North power plant. And she screamed. A fair reaction.
Yes.
The group soon learned that these eyes belonged to something that looked startlingly humanoid. It was about 7 feet tall, with wings folded against its back. And so they like drive up on this thing, right? And this motherfucker's just standing there, staring.
No.
So Roger stalled in the road for a minute.
Why?
Just like staring. I
Why?
guess because the fuck.
Why? Why would you stall in the road?
Actually, no, it's funny that you asked that because, like, so there are different stories, right? You read these different accounts of this story, and obviously we have to condense everything so that I'm not screaming at you about Mothman for 3 hours, even though I would really love that. Kenny says I am not allowed to do that anymore since the Heaven's Gate episode.
No.
So we kind of like condensed the story, but there's different accounts that said that like people felt when they saw the Mothman, like when they saw the creature, they were like it was sort of like magnetic, where they were like
drawn to it, like a moth to a flame.
Like a moth to a flame, in fact. Right? So they were kind of like stuck on it.
I get that. This kind of reminds me of that scene in Signs where the alien walks by and it freaked everybody out.
Yeah.
You know, with the camera. Like, that is one of the things that, like, I'm absolutely terrified about. It's like when you are driving down the road and then, like, it's dark and your headlights are kind of, like, just illuminating, you know, the road. Yeah. And then seeing something like flash in your headlights on the side of the road. Something about that just absolutely terrifies me.
Is what I like to do.
And
I like
yes,
to just
would
keep
not,
going.
You know, 10 out of 10 would not stop in the road.
No.
I would just keep going.
Might call somebody. If it looked like it might have been a person, might keep going and whip out my phone and just give a quick shout out to 911. Hey, girl, you might want to go investigate, but that's not my fucking job.
No.
My job is to get the fuck on down the road.
And I will never travel down this road ever again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
no, so this motherfucker was just standing there.
I don't like that.
In the I'm imagining it as in the middle of the road. Just staring him down. And so Roger stalls in the road for a minute. And they're all just kind of like staring at this thing that they see, and they realized immediately that this was not like a bird, right? Because it's a 7 feet tall creature with these fucking wings and these glowing red eyes, and they're like, it's not a fucking bird.
I'm glad. Thanks, Roger.
But the true horror began when the creature suddenly spread its wings and pursued them down Highway 62 all the way to the Point Pleasant city limits at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour.
Fuck that.
Now, imagine how fucking shit terrified you would be. Like, whatever sort of bias you came in with regard to Mothman, I just need you to imagine that, like, you're with your bae, you're on some kind of, like, double date situation. Maybe, I'm not going to say, I mean, maybe it was a swingers situation. I'm certainly not going to make that allegation that we were having sex with each other's spouses. But I'm just going to say it's two young couples having a great weekend.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not going to say they were porking each other. But
it is Appalachia.
I'm gonna leave it on the table for you there, and you can take it if you feel compelled. But like you're driving down this road, right? It's dark. You're like totally in a chill zone, right? And you see like your partner spots this thing before you do and just fucking banshee screams. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then you look and there's this 7-foot tall winged creature just fucking staring at you with glowing red eyes. And you stare at each other for however long, right? And then all of a sudden it just spreads its fucking wings and just starts coming right after you. Holy shit.
That's fucking, I wouldn't know. No.
There's no way
No.
Roger didn't piss the seats of that 57 Chevy Bel Air.
Roger, fucking
And I don't blame
better
him.
step on it.
But we must applaud him because motherfucker was chasing him at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. He was like fucking gone. He was like, I'm going to drive this car.
Yeah. I mean, he fucking better.
amazing.
You're in the driver's seat, buddy. You got to get us out of fucking escape from Mothman.
I mean, I'm just saying, well done, Linda. He seems to be a provider. Okay.
Yeah.
So the four of them arrive in town looking very startled and confused and with no sign of the mysterious creature that had chased them. Roger parks his car at the edge of town and they talk about the encounter, doing their best to calm each other down. You know, you've been here. You've been here where you get like freaked out and you're with your friends and then you just kind of bring each other down, right?
I've never
You
been
just
chased by Mothman though.
No.
So no, I haven't been there.
Definitely not Mothman
I mean,
specifically.
I haven't been in that situation, I don't think.
But you've gotten spooked and then you kind of like it's so funny how as humans, like we'll see something and we'll be like, this is bad. I need to go immediately, right? I'm particularly sensitive to that. I'm like, this is not a good thing for me and we're going to exit the situation.
And yet we're still podcasting.
But it's funny how like almost immediately after something so fucking scary happens, how quickly, especially when you're with other people, how quickly you start to like explain it away. Well, maybe it wasn't this. Maybe it was just a trick of the light. Maybe it was some kind of animal. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was that. And especially when you have other people with you, it's like we all need to believe in the delicate balance of our reality. And when something like a fucking 7-foot tall moth creature shatters that reality, our brains work so hard to put it back together as quickly as possible, especially when we're with other people.
Yeah.
It's a little harder to do if you're by yourself, but it still does happen. But it's in a group of people. It's funny how quickly we start putting things together. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. So they sit, they just cross the town limits. They sit, they do their best to calm each other down, and they eventually decide that what they had collectively experienced was nothing more than an aberrant bird and nothing to be feared. So in an attempt to prove that everything was totally fine, they again drove off towards the TNT area.
Sir. Okay, no. See, what we're about to do, folks, is we're about to head to this local 24-hour diner. And we're going to sit and we're going to have us, we're going to have us a meal. We're going to have us a burger. We're going to have some fries. We're going to talk about it. We might laugh about it. Say,
Until you fucking look up in the
just
window
in
and
our
there's
fucking
fucking
imagination.
Mothman standing there staring at you eating your fucking burger.
Exactly. Except he's got some sort of like weird moth mouth and it's like pressed against the window. And
I'd be like, hey, bro, you want a burger?
maybe that's all he wanted. Maybe he just wanted some friends. It's got to be lonely being a Mothman.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just
Unless
saying.
there's a moth people.
Yeah. Maybe he got a moth bae.
Moth woman.
Just saying. Or Mothman. No
Moth
judgment.
woman,
No
Mothman,
judgment.
yeah.
Whatever you need. Maybe it's a gender fluid situation. We support that.
Yeah.
So these guys are like, everything's totally fine. And to prove how fine it is, we're going to drive directly back towards the danger.
I still feel like that's the incorrect choice, but go on,
It
Roger.
is.
Okay, Roger.
Okay, Roger. So it wasn't long before they saw the creature again, apparently waiting on them beside Route 62. So he said, look, now, he said, I didn't let you get back into town, and then you gonna turn this motherfucking car around.
He looked at them like, he cocked his head and he's like, really? You that stupid? You that dumb?
He said, huh?
You that dumb? Huh?
I was gonna head back to the crib, I thought I'd just stay here for just a little bit and see what was happening, but I guess you coming back by, huh?
You dumbass really just came. You came back, Roger. Come.
Yeah.
You really on dumbass, ain't you? And then proceeds to just fucking terrorize them.
Rip their flesh off. So, so apparently he was waiting on him beside Route 62, and the couples now realized that their stalker was no bird. But in the instant that the car's headlights landed on the creature, it lifted vertically, rapidly into the air with tremendous speed and disappeared over the tree line. So they turned back down, and this motherfucker's waiting beside Route 62. When their car lights hit the figure, just goes straight up into the fucking air.
Oh, shit.
It's not good.
Nah.
It's not good.
I don't... I've seen Jeepers Creepers and like...
I don't know. My concern is like, where are you going?
That's what I'm saying.
Where are you going in such a hurry?
Usually when you're going up, that usually means that you're planning to attack from above.
Yeah, right. Where
so
are you going?
like it...
It's not good. It's not good. It seems like you're going somewhere in a hurry.
But then again, I mean, they did come back to the spot, so like, I mean, you kind of... you kind of fell in that one.
Yeah.
You kind of fell in that one,
Yes.
bruh. That's all I got to say.
Yes. So this time, when the couples arrived into town, they went directly to the Mason County Courthouse and told their story to Sheriff George Johnson and Deputy Miller Halstead. 2 hours later, city police began investigating the area, only to return empty-handed. The next day, a press conference was held, and the local press began circulating the story, causing others to come forward with previous and future sightings. This was the major event that started it all. In the November 16th issue of the Point Pleasant Register, the strange encounter would be brought into the public eye with the headline, quote, "Couple sees man-sized bird, ... creature, ... something," end quote.
Fuck.
Amazing.
Someone just really... creature, ... something.
Yeah.
And
it just took off. It just completely took off because people were like, look, people in Appalachia, we love fucking cryptid story. We love to hear about all the fucking weird shit that is going on out there beyond the veil. We're into it. We live for it. And so people saw that headline and they were like, fuck yes. They were like, this is the summer of Mothman. We're going to do this. I mean, it wasn't summer actually because it was fall, but they were like, this is the year of Mothman.
It's the season of the Mothman.
Yeah, they were like, this is it. We're here. We're fucking here. And they were watching for him. So that strange encounter in the TNT area on the morning of November 16th, 1966 was a harrowing experience for everybody that was involved. Everybody was freaked the fuck out. Linda Scarberry so much that she was actually rushed to the hospital by her father after experiencing a nervous breakdown.
Really?
Yes. And
really, Linda?
Listen, Linda.
Really, Linda?
So she apparently had a nervous breakdown. And remember, she was the first person to see the Mothman. She's the first person to see the eyes in the distance and scream.
Okay, true.
So she apparently had a nervous breakdown. And there are conflicting reports, actually, that when her father took her to the hospital, there are some conflicting reports that when she was examined, she was found to have severe sunburns all over her body as a result of the encounter. So that's an element in some of the stories. Yeah. And they think that it has something, a lot of times if you look into like UFO stories and stories of like encounters with different like alien vessels, that sunburn thing is often present. So just an interesting note there to just throw out there.
As I look down at my sunburn.
At your sunburn body. Really,
Wow.
It was just an exposure to Mothman. Yeah, so apparently on the phenomenon, Roger Scarberry stated, quote, "I'm a hard guy to scare, but last night I was for getting out of there," end quote.
I mean, until you went back, like...
But again, it's like, it's that human thing where we're just like, it's totally fine. That could not be reality. Reality would not allow that to exist. And so despite the fact that you have seen it with your fucking eyes, which is why I think that we walk around and see weird shit all day long, every day, that our brains just filter the fuck out.
Well, also the fact that it wasn't just you. You were with a
Right.
group of people,
Right.
and they all
Yes.
saw the same
Yes.
thing. Like, I can maybe forgive you if it was just you and you were like, what the fuck? And then, like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? But all y'all saw that, girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first things that happens in a situation like that. You're like, did y'all see that?
Did you see it?
Did you see
Okay.
it? Did you see
Mhm.
it? I'm looking at
out.
you. If that happens to us, I'm gonna look at you. You gonna look at me, and we'll be like, "Did we both see that?
Did we?
And we're both
Okay.
gonna. And if we both check yes, we're out.
That's it.
We're
We're
done.
out, and we're not going back.
Nope, we're not doing. We're not gonna go
definitely
back.
not.
What we'll
We're
do is we'll wait a few years and then do a story about it later.
Maybe.
Potentially.
Depends on how traumatized we are. Yeah. So over the next 13 months, the Mothman spread his wings out over the sleepy town of Point Pleasant. It was estimated that there were over 100 sightings within this time, though admittedly many of these sightings are sourced from unidentifiable reports. Mothman witnesses were also harassed by the Men in Black, who wanted them not to speak about the creature, which is a whole separate and absolutely fucking terrifying story. The Men in Black scared the fucking shit out of me. We will not talk about the Men in Black.
You're gonna fucking talk about the Men in Black.
Look it up.
I'm gonna
It's-
bring it to you next week.
Don't do that. So the if you cover it, I'll be really mad. No, it's kind of on my list with aliens where it's like I might cover it.
Save it for a special day.
But see, what happens is when you start talking too much about them, then they start showing up in your life, and they start fucking coming for you. And I can't have that because I just don't. So if you're interested in, let me actually grab the book because there's a really good book on the Men in Black.
You're getting all sorts of.
And I'm not for anybody.
ASMR.
I'm not talking about the fucking the movie.
You're not talking about Will Smith.
No, I'm not talking about Will Smith. What we were told as younger adults and children is like we got the Will Smith movie with Tommy Lee Jones and like the cutesy like hey, you don't remember anything and the clicky pen and like it was great and like
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
like
I know, yeah.
yeah. That's not what it is.
Not it at all, folks.
It's high surrealism. It is absolutely just fucking terrifying. If there's a really good book on it, it's by Nick Redfern, and it's called The Real Men in Black: Evidence, Famous Cases, and True Stories of These Mysterious Men and Their Connection to UFO Phenomena. Basically, the Men in Black, they feature hugely in the Mothman story, but they're a whole separate like arc that I knew that I could not bring them in because I would just obsess over them and also be absolutely fucking terrified for weeks of my life. But they're basically... There are lots of theories as to who they work for and where they come from, but they're basically these entities that are, whenever you have like a cryptid phenomenon like this or an alien phenomenon like this, they are sort of like the controllers that come in and they talk to people, they interview people who potentially saw Mothman at this time, and they're like, you didn't see anything, right? Like you didn't. They kind of like gather intel, but they're so fucking strange. So they look like humans, but it's like some of the features are like missing. Like imagine like a guy that looks like a guy, and they're always in black suits, right? They're always in like black. That's why they're called Men in Black. And they pose as like FBI agents or like feds. You think they're a fed.
Yeah.
But then like certain things just sort of like features start to drop away. Like all of a sudden they don't have any eyebrows, or like all of a sudden they don't have any lips. They just have a hole for mouth. Or there's no lips there, but there's like lipstick to make it look like there's lips there. Or there's just like wires all over their body, like sticking out of their pants legs, and like they're really fucking strange and they won't drink any water, or they're like just weird shit that's like so asinine and strange that like your brain just literally cannot comprehend. It's terrifying. I really encourage you to like look into these stories and read them, especially if like stuff like that freaks you out from a horror perspective. I find them absolutely fucking terrifying. So I'm good. Part of why I don't want to talk about like aliens and UFOs and any of that shit. I'm not trying to become a target.
You don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and see one of those at the foot of your bed.
I don't want that. But see, that's the thing that makes them so weird is like they show up in like normal like daytime. Like they show up like on the fucking bus. And all of a sudden there's like a man in black sitting across from you, 2 rows down. And at first you might think that it's a Fed, but then you start to notice that he doesn't have any eyelashes. And then you start to notice that like there's some sort of liquid dripping down his neck. And then you notice that his leg isn't really a leg. It's a little too bendy for a leg and the joints aren't quite right.
Well, listen, I'm
And
going to need
he's
that
twisting
motherfucker to get the fuck up off the bus because this bus is full, honey, and I'm going to need for him to either scoot over or go back to wherever the fuck he came from because I ain't, it's hot out here in these streets and I am not going to stand on this bus.
It's not good. It's not good.
No.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it one bit. I much prefer Mothman. I'm going to be honest. At least he's straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like he is a
He's
7 foot tall,
7 foot tall Mothman.
moth humanoid, and he is just here with his glowing red eyes. You know what I mean? Like don't look like something else, but then like slowly like shift into some sort of terrifying creature. Like don't do that. Don't do that. I need you to come correct. I need you to be direct. Okay?
Correct and direct.
That's what I appreciate. Anyway, so you have 13 months of all these crazy sightings of Mothman, and to be honest, like some of them are not so reputable. Some people are just like, I saw a Mothman out in my field. And like obviously those people are trying to, because the press also just blew this thing the fuck up.
Yeah. So they're all going to be all up on it.
Yes, which is another reason why the Men in Black feature so hugely in this story, because the press is blowing this shit up. Because it's West Virginia, and they're like, fuck yeah, we're going to write a story on a fucking 7 foot tall Mothman. Absolutely.
Why not?
Shit.
Why absolutely not?
Yes. So that's another reason that the Men in Black kind of come in droves to sort of control the story. So
Would you imagine just like you've got a reporter and it's some like fucking random like Tom, Dick, and Harry's just fucking talking to the reporter like, I saw it. It was a Mothman. And I saw him right there in the field. He got them big red eyes right there. He's looking right at my dog. I saw him.
Right
He
at
was
my dog.
looking right at him. And then like right behind him, you just all of a sudden see the fucking Man in Black who's just like,
it's not good. And then he just opens his mouth, but instead like a computer siren comes out. God. Fucking. Oh. Whew, I don't like it. I really don't like it.
we better stop talking about them before they show up.
Please don't. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to fucking talk. Who the fuck am I? Nobody even fucking listens to my podcast. It's totally fine. We're good. We're not like, everything's cool.
You look at your screen and look back at me, and then I'm a Man in Black just sitting here.
Oh, God. I'd have to take you out. I love you. I love you so much, but I would have to take you out. That would be it. That would be it.
I really hope you don't have a psychotic break one day, just, unrelated
That's gonna be
to this.
tough.
And then but your psychotic break is like you see Men in Black, but it's not.
I've thought
just
about
have a
that
break in reality.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot, actually.
And
I've
just
thought about that a lot.
let me know if you ever feel that. Like, give me a heads up.
I will. Medication is a great thing, and it's certainly not something that I would shy away from in that case. Another reason that I was scared to cover the Mothman story. So anyway, so these strange sightings seem to continue for about 13 months until the collapse of the Silver Bridge on December 15th of 1967. So based on reported sightings, Mothman himself is described as a bipedal, winged humanoid. See, I told you we were scientists today.
Bipedal means two-footed.
Yes. Good job. Thank you. Despite the name that was given to him by the newspapers, he is in no way moth-like and has an appearance more like that of a large humanoid owl. His coloration varies from black, gray, to even brown, although it's usually the darker shades. He is often reported to be about 7 feet tall, with a wingspan of about 10 to 15 feet or more, plus the ability to fly over 100 miles per hour. Sometimes he's described as not having a head, with the 2 huge red eyes set in his chest. These eyes are reported to be glowing or at least reflective somehow, kind of like how cats' eyes are reflective. The details of his face and his feet have never been adequately described. One witness who saw the face clearly could only say that the details were horrible and monstrous. She had terrible nightmares and nearly suffered a nervous breakdown, just like Linda Scarberry had the night after her encounter. Anyone who gets a close look at the Mothman seems to suffer from extreme fear and psychological distress, sometimes lasting for months or years afterwards. In particular, people say that a sense of pure evil overcomes them when they see Mothman's eyes. He can fold his wings and walk with a weird shuffle that many witnesses compare to a penguin. Again,
You know what though? Like,
pure evil, psychological distress.
it kind of reminds me of when you were talking about it being like possibly a large owl. Kind of reminds me of the Lechuza, the owl witch.
Yeah.
Owl witches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if Mothman is like a version of like an
Lechuza.
Appalachian, like, you know, Appalachian.
Maybe the reason he mad is
witch.
because really he is she,
Who
and
knows?
you're misgendering him.
Maybe, potentially.
So the penguin thing, I knew you would laugh at the penguin thing, but if you fucking think about it, this motherfucker is 7 feet tall and just radiates terror
All I can think of is
with
Danny
glowing red eyes, and it's just fucking, but 7 feet tall, and then it's shuffling like a penguin. Fuck that.
I guess.
Fuck that so much. No, fuck that. That's
But I don't
terrifying.
understand. Shuffling like a penguin.
Yeah,
It's got to be. So maybe that's why he flies more.
maybe. When he flies, he unfolds his wings and shoots straight up and with great speed, and then he levels out. He is rarely observed flapping his wings except for on takeoff. Witnesses often described his flight pattern as straight up like a helicopter. He can fly much faster than any bird should be able to fly, as measured by those victims who suffered from what seems to be Mothman's favorite activity, chasing cars. He'll fly in front of them and even sometimes hit at the roof. It's against the rules.
No, you can't hit my roof. Don't hit the roof.
Maybe Mothman's what shat on your car that one time and it just got dive bombed by birds.
Oh my god! Yes. What if that was true? Oh my gosh! Yeah, I had a long time ago. Long story short, I was driving one day and then I just had like a fuck ton of like, hello. I just had like a fuck ton of bird shit hit my window, and I'm not talking about like a drop. I'm talking about like someone took a
No,
bucket.
his car was covered.
I'm talking
I
about-
was amazed he could drive the
Someone
car to a location.
took a bucket of bird shit and dumped it on my window.
It was
I'm
crazy. It looked
assuming
like paint.
it was from a flock of birds, but it might have been Mothman.
It might have.
Mothman shat on my car. That's the story, and I'm sticking
I mean,
to
that would
it.
have been impressive even for Mothman. That was those birds were like, fuck you.
Let me find a reporter. I saw it. He shat on my car. I seen it.
Mothman took a dump on me. Anyway, some people pay for that.
Yes, they do.
So many claim that there have been many reasons for seeing the Mothman, right? Like, we're humans. We enjoyed it attaching significance to things and meaning to things. So many claim that sightings of the Mothman seem to herald impending disasters. Some of the places Mothman has visited include a mine in Freiburg, Germany, where a Mothman-like creature scared miners away shortly before a collapse. So that was like a good deed, right? He showed up and scared everybody away, and then the mine collapsed. If he hadn't scared everybody away, see, that's what. And when we talk about evil, like radiating evil energy, like, I mean, I don't really think an evil creature would have done that. That seems compassionate to me.
I mean, unless
think
it's
he's
a
got a heart.
separate moth person.
Oh, there's like a good Mothman and like an evil Mothman.
Or like maybe it's a whole community of them, and you know, maybe they each have their own distinctive personalities, and the one in Appalachia is just a fucking Appalachian ass.
Maybe, possibly. I guess that would be a long way for him to fly to Germany. But then again, he's fast, so who knows? Another notable visit was to the nuclear plant at Chernobyl, where a creature was reported to have haunted the facilities for a while before the famous nuclear meltdown.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's interesting that he seems to be popping up in places that's like mines.
Which is
nuclear
exactly why
places.
I'm fucking side-eyeing the TNT area, because it's like, what kind of like energy is drawing that shit?
Yeah.
Because there's this whole arc of how like Mothman actually, like, there's just so much that we can't get to. but there's this whole arc of how like Mothman connects with aliens and like UFOs, and like how like nuclear energy, like when human beings finally discovered nuclear energy, it was when the larger universe started paying attention to us, and they were like, oh, like, a lot of ufologists look at the discovery of nuclear energy as like your rite of passage into the larger galactic sort of
like your fucking Sam's Club card to get into the
sort
fucking
of.
big store.
Yes. The discovery of nuclear energy is your Sam's Club card to connect with aliens. So
Fucking welcome to fucking Universal Costco. Fucking nuclear energy aisle 7.
yes. So basically it's like a rite of passage thing. And so once we discovered nuclear energy, that's when we started having some people allege that we started having actual contact with aliens, and that we started to kind of like be an actual like something that anyone would pay attention to, right? And so Mothman kind of plugs into that, because he keeps showing up at these places where nuclear energy is like mines and nuclear energy and that sort of like power plant type of environment, right? Seems to draw him. But there were also 2 alleged Mothman pictures taken in New York on 9/11, and multiple sightings before the Minnesota Bridge collapse. So it's sort of this thing where Mothman is sort of becoming like a man in gray, where he's spotted before these disasters as sort of like a warning, right?
Yeah.
So some people believe that the Mothman tries to warn people about disasters that are able to happen, or right before they happen, like the Freiburg, Germany mining accident and the Chernobyl. However, since there only seems to be one Mothman instead of a bunch of his kind, and since he seems rather paranormal, these sightings are not of much interest to cryptozoologists who want to discover new kinds of creatures, which I think is fucking bullshit.
It doesn't seem like a great cryptozoologist, if you ask me.
You don't want to study the Mothman because there's only one of them. The fuck?
But you don't know that. You don't know that, though.
I don't know.
You don't
I mean, I guess you don't know, but maybe they know. Who knows? I don't know.
They wouldn't know because they don't study it enough.
They want to study a fucking, like, what is that? Jackalope? They want to fucking study
Jackalope?
those bastards. Yeah. Remember, have you ever seen those? Yeah. It's like a hoax. Yeah. Bullshit. Study Mothman instead. So, admittedly, and I have to acknowledge this point, there has yet to be any credible, I'm going to put it in air quotes, credible physical or photographic evidence to truly support the existence of Mothman. But there are a few photos that have been mistaken for Mothman, like a photo of a bridge that was taken in 2003, which just turned out to be a piece of metal tilting and falling off of the bridge. Not Mothman.
Not Mothman. Okay. That's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, we still believe.
It's okay.
Unfortunately, photoshopped images abound online, and the fakes are just really painfully easy to spot. As though the mighty Mothman would allow photographs of his glorious self to ever grace the internet anyway.
Well, it would be hard. It would be really hard to get a picture of him, for one, because he appears to move fast.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Well, the thing about him that makes him fucking terrifying is, like, he moves really fast, but then he also is, like, really still, right? Like,
Right.
remember, that motherfucker's standing in the road staring at fucking Roger
kind of like
Scarberry.
kind of like an insect. You know how like
Yeah.
a lot they're
Yeah.
still, but when they move, they're like
Gone.
super fast and
Yeah.
they're gone, right? But it would make him hard to photograph because he's so Just like it's difficult to photograph any insect that has like wings and flies around. You've got to kind of know what you're doing. Also, with the fact that if he has glowing red eyes, it's gonna fuck your shit up.
It is. It's gonna fuck the white balance.
And then like if you're just fucking looking into his eyes, are you trying to look through your fucking lens and you just see the fucking Mothman's eyes and fucking Betty Davis eyes starts playing in the background and you get fucking depressed AF.
Me. Oh, that's our falling in love song. Is that a depressing song?
No, but I mean, I just feel like with what his lore with like going into the fucking
I feel like
stress,
those people are just not there for the fun.
Maybe that's the test of the Mothman, right? maybe I'm onto something here. Maybe if you look into his eyes and you're a true believer, then you will be spared from like a horrible death.
Maybe.
But
maybe if you
not,
just listen to the message that he's trying to tell you, then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe if you just have that light in you.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like a toxic relationship.
It does. Maybe.
Decipher through everything that he puts
I
you
do
through
have a
to
type.
find some sort of like, semblance of goodness that he may or may not be trying to tell you. Not
Yes.
smart advice.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, because people hate fun, or because we have an inherent biological need to explain away that which frightens us, which perturbs us, that which terrifies us in the dead of night on a deserted country road. People have speculated that there are logical explanations for the Mothman phenomenon, the most popular of which we actually alluded to earlier, is that the Mothman is an owl.
Just a big owl.
Just a big-ass owl, I guess.
Just a large owl. With red eyes?
I guess. So Sheriff George Johnson, who the original witnesses contacted, believed that, talking about the original witnesses from the November 15th incident, he actually believed that the Mothman must have been a large heron.
The fuck is a heron?
The big fucking birds, like blue heron, like with the long, narrow head that kind of stoops a little bit. And I could see like it's stooping, but herons aren't like 7 feet tall. Like it's just not a thing. Wildlife biologist Dr. Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University speculated that the Mothman may have been a sandhill crane, which the newspapers reported on at the time of the incident. But the witnesses that saw Mothman strongly disagreed with this explanation for their experience. Skeptic Joe Nickel posited that owls as an explanation, that owls could potentially be an explanation because of the way that their eyes shine. Their eyes,
okay.
When their eyes
All
reflect,
right.
it kind of looks red.
Fair.
And the fact that their silhouette could be said to resemble the headless Mothman.
Fair.
But again,
7 feet tall.
I don't think an owl is 7 feet fucking tall.
Unless you've
and
got...
standing in the middle of the road on the other side of your windshield staring at you. Like, I just don't think.
And also, like, wouldn't be waiting for you, right? Like, I don't, like, wouldn't be, I don't, I mean, unless there's just some fucking, like, aggressive species of owl that we haven't discovered
like
in the fucking
fucking
Appalachian
asshole
mountains.
owl.
That we just haven't discovered because fucking mountains of Appalachia hold many secrets.
Maybe it's the same owl as in the staircase case.
That's what I was thinking, too. I was like, damn, what if it's just a fucking rude-ass owl who's just like, get the fuck out of my damn TNT fucking mines, bruh.
Yes.
Like, don't come up here.
Yes.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah. Just wants some solitude. So most modern skeptics tend to agree with Joe Nickel and think and believe in the owl theory. That's sort of the prevailing theory. And yet, still, some true believers believe that the Mothman may be an angel, a demon, or the product of a blood curse placed upon the town by Chief Cornstalk, a Shawnee tribal leader who was reportedly murdered along with his son in the Point Pleasant area.
Oh, well, that took an interesting twist.
I'm not sure that I'm going to vouch for that because, so I'm going to be fair. I didn't necessarily dig into this part of it really deeply. But Chief Cornstalk doesn't sound real. Like, one of the giveaways being that corn didn't exist here before, Europeans came over. It was maize. It wasn't called corn, so I don't think that he would have been named Chief Cornstalk.
That's right.
Because, I mean, maybe. Correct me if you know a lot about Shawnee history,
corn
but
in Appalachia?
yeah. You can grow corn anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, you can grow corn anywhere. Most anywhere. I mean, you can't grow it in the middle of fucking desert because it takes a lot of water, but you can grow it. You can grow it in Appalachia. But I don't think that, like, Cornstalk would have been, like, top on the list of, like, names for Shawnee chieftains from back in the day. You know?
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, not to disgrace the Cornstalk name. If it is real, I'd love to know the etymology. But it seems a little suspect to me. It seems a little.
It's just a little suspect to me.
Dicey.
It seems almost.
It seems like some
like
bullshit that somebody's
racist in a
like grandpa
sense,
made
like-
up. Yes, yes.
I mean, I think that's where we're getting at. It just seems like
it just seems
it's
not real.
Not
not
real, and potentially not okay.
Yeah. So I'm not vouching for that. I'm just here to report the news. I'm just here to give you the facts.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But
So-
an interesting theory, an interesting like twist to the story. Blood curse, gotta love it.
Maybe. We love a blood curse.
I mean, do one monthly.
I do. So whatever the true identity of the Mothman may be, he is near universally respected in the area surrounding Point Pleasant, West Virginia. To this day, the Mothman Festival, an annual commemoration of the visit of this cryptid, is held annually on the third week of September in downtown Point Pleasant. And before you ask me, they fucking canceled it for 2020, thanks COVID-19.
Oh my fucking God.
Because I want to go so damn bad. And this was going to be my year, and it was going to be a big thing, and now I can't go, and I'm really upset about it. But September 2021, I'm going to be at the Mothman Festival.
I fucking want to go.
We're going. We'll be there. So if you're in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a year and 2 months from now, we'll see you there.
We'll remind you later on.
We will. So Mothman Festival has a wide variety of vendors, guest speakers, live music, food, and events for all ages.
I mean, who's the guest speaker?
Potentially behind our podcast. I
was
fucking
gonna say-
guarantee you we will absolutely talk about Mothman until I look out into the audience and I see some
fucking
shit that
man
I'm
in
not
black.
trying to see. And then Mothman just rolls up and just punches him in the fucking face. And I'm just like, yeah.
It's the man in black eating like a fucking ice cream cone,
Oh,
but like
God.
not eating it.
No, it would be so bad because
Like
they would
he's
do
just-
something fucking weird, like shove
Shove
the
it in
whole
his
thing
mouth.
down his fucking throat.
Or like he's just like shoving the ice cream on his face
Yeah.
and just like
Yeah.
not eating it, but it's
Yeah.
just like
Yep, that's
like a
definitely what it
fucking
would be.
robot. That's what would happen.
It's not
And
gonna be good.
But your Mothman would save you. I feel like being a
I
true
would
believer.
want him to. I would want him to. Honestly,
I feel
I'd be
like he would
fucking take that dude
just
out. It's
fucking
weird.
swoop down and then take you away. But then
I think
I'd just be left there, and I'm like, well,
well, what we
we're
gonna
in the
talk
middle
about
of
on
doing
the podcast this week?
We're in the middle of doing a panel, and you just get taken away by Mothman, and I'm just like, okay,
Amazing.
well, all right, and then that's the show.
Okay. Yeah, so apparently people from all over the world come to experience the unique atmosphere of the Mothman Festival and learn more about the Mothman. Whatever the true identity of the Mothman may be, it is clear that Point Pleasant both honors and fears the cryptid that protects or haunts its city limits.
Probably does both.
Potentially both.
Why can't you do both?
Balance.
You can both protect and haunt.
Get you a man that can do both.
That is the truth.
You know? How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I learned stuff today.
I learned things.
I learned things.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm so glad.
Well, it's just so interesting because, like I said, it's been such a long time since we've done a cryptid story. I can't even remember the last cryptid story that we
been a while.
talked about.
It's been a while.
Right off the top of my head. So it's always really interesting to hear these because they're just fun. Yeah. You can sort of, a lot of them have their own, like a bunch of different, perspectives and opinions, and you can kind of just make with it what you will. And Mothman is a good one. I didn't know anything about him. And now I am inducted. I have my Mothman membership card, and I'm ready to go into Costco.
Yeah, fucking Wicked Clothes. You know that clothing? They're like an online like Instagram shop thing. They're like clothing.
Yeah, online.
Shop.
I know of it.
On the internet, you know, the interwebs.
The internet. Yes, I am aware.
The World Wide Web. They have a Mothman shirt, and it's so fucking cool. I want it so bad. But it's like $50, and I'm cheap, so probably won't get it. But maybe I'll get a T-shirt when I go to the Mothman Festival. Anyway,
no,
now
you just
that's
get
over.
Mothman.
Yeah, or maybe that. And sunburns everywhere. Just fucking 3rd-degree burns everywhere. So we have some mail to read.
It is not from the Mothman.
It is not. Regrettably, it's not. So, quick story before we got a postcard in the mail. You can hear it. Maybe you can hear it.
From our P.O. box.
Yeah, from our P.O. box. By the way, if you'd like to send us an email, you can find us at The Haunted Heart. You can send it to The Haunted Heart Podcast or whatever the fuck you want to write. P.O. Box 6047, Leesburg, Virginia, 20178. And you can send us mail there, packages there, whatever the fuck you want to send us. Do not send me a box of dead moths. That would be horrible. Don't send me a Man in Black. I don't want that. I will return it to you. But if you want to send me anything else, that would be fabulous. I always accept teeth. Molars make great studs.
I know. I was so upset because my husband just recently had all of his wisdom teeth taken out.
They didn't give
and
them to
they
you.
wouldn't let him have his teeth.
They crushed mine, so it wouldn't have worked anyway. Yeah. So if you want to send me your teeth, that's fine. That's definitely cool. Soak those in some peroxide. Just always be safe. But we did get a postcard today, and I went to the P.O. box, and I was like, I'm going to check the P.O. box, which is a big deal for me. So it takes me a bit to check the P.O. box sometimes, as the people who have sent us mail know. So I was going to go check the P.O. box, and I forgot my fucking key to the P.O. box. So I was like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, they're open. I'll just ask the mail lady to give me whatever mail's in our P.O. box. So I did, and I had to show her my ID and everything, and I really appreciated how they protected our mail. Our very sensitive mail. And there was one item in the P.O. box. We're very popular. Again, P.O. Box 6047, Leesburg, Virginia, 20178, if you want to send us anything. One item today in the P.O. box. And she goes and gets it, checks my ID, hands it to me, and it's a postcard. And I'm going to hand it to Kenny so he can read it to you. But I want you to tell me what the picture on the postcard is that the lady, who I'm going to say was in her mid-50s, went to get from the P.O. box and definitely saw as she handed it to me.
So what she saw was a picture. Oh, let me get my glasses. Was a picture of a skeleton in a closet with the title that says, "When Lonely Nights Turn Bonely, Secret Sex Skeleton."
Yep. And I gave that lady my ID and everything. She was like, oh, okay.
Big, bold words that just say secret sex skeleton on it.
Yep. So that'll be the last time that I forget my key to the P.O. box to go check it.
And she might have been into it. Who knows?
She was not. She was like, what the fuck is this business?
I know that lady.
Can you
because
not?
When I've been there to send stuff off, she's always been, I don't want to say she's nice, but a little prickly.
She's perpetually a little peeved, I think.
She's prickly, but she's the only person who works at this post office,
yes.
and she's always the one there. What if she's actually a Man in Black?
Oh, fuck that.
And she's protecting,
This is
that's
how-
her
this is how
post,
you're
is
gonna
at the
get-
post office.
Is to monitor us so that we don't find the truth. No. See, this is not good. This is not a good path for me to start down. I'm gonna be fucking
Katie's gonna
assaulting
ban the
people
fucking words Men in
and,
Black ever.
fucking-
Actually, you know what would be really creepy? Since I bleeped the first words at the start of the show, what if all of a sudden I edited or I put the show out and then all of the Men in Black words
that
they
whole
just
part is
bleeped?
just cut.
Or there's bleeps there, but I didn't put them there.
Oh man. It's not good.
Okay.
It's not a
No,
good
we're not
place
gonna
that
get
be
into
in.
this mindset. But what we are gonna get into. Did we ask her if we could read this?
Yeah, she's fine with it.
Okay. All right. So yes, we have this lovely postcard, which was actually a thing from our group where we thought that it was a book that Katie would read for our spooky smut that we do on Patreon.
Yeah, it was fake
But
though,
it was
and I was
fake.
so upset because I really wanted to read the story about the secret sex skeleton.
Yeah, but it just turned out to be a postcard.
Devastating.
But what it says on the back is, "Hey y'all, hope you are having a better quarantine than I am."
I think we're all about.
We're all probably the
We're all
same
in that
place.
same level.
Same
I
place.
think there's only one level to it.
Same level. But seriously, thank you both so much for creating a safe space where people like us can just be ourselves. Also, I tried finding the book of this, but this is the best I could do. LOL, I hope yours is called Trashy. JK, PS, you could read this. God,
I think that was the permission to read it on the show.
I fucking suck at reading. P.S. You can read this online or whatever. Stay spooky, Holland.
Huzzah. Thank you, Holland. We appreciate the postcard.
I'm sorry I struggled so much. It's like a mixture of the fact that it's just fucking late as fuck and I'm tired and like we have 2 fucking candles
Your
lit
reading
instead of our
comprehension.
usual fucking 36 that we have lit.
That's true. It's hot.
And it's a lot going on right now, but we definitely appreciate the postcard. We absolutely love it. I want to
Yeah.
frame that.
Yeah.
Actually.
I
Put it
love
in
that.
a little frame, little 5x6 frame there.
I love it. It's excellent. So send us mail. Mail's fun. Mail's always fun.
Yeah, mail's fun.
If you are more of a digital person, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on Instagram at The Haunted Heart Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at The Haunted Heart. You can find us on Facebook if you search The Haunted Heart Podcast. You can find our page where you can like us and give us a little review if you got the time. You can also join our closed Facebook group, which is really fun. There's lots of discussion about episodes and just about other various spooky topics. Kenny and I are both in the group and we're fairly active, so we will be there interacting with you. If you are looking for an extra way to go out of your way to support the show, we do have a Patreon. We can be found at patreon.com/thehauntedheart. And if you go there, you can join. You can get access to lots of exclusive content. We're going to be incorporating video more, I think, on the Patreon. We're like trying to do more of that. So we're like bringing, it's going to be cool. It's going to be a cool thing. And yeah, so there's all different like tiers you can get on there. You can read all about it. I'm not going to waste your time on it. There was something else that I wanted to. Oh yeah, email us if you're not a snail mail person, which we would love to receive any letters and postcards, embarrassing postcards that you guys want to send us to embarrass me in front of the post office lady.
Be
but
glad
if you-
someone didn't send you nudes.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it. Use your best judgment. You're adults. Please, if you're not an adult, don't. Send me.
No.
Don't.
No.
Nothing like that. I was gonna say don't send me anything, but then I'm like, I'm a dick. We have like some some of our listeners have kids who are adorable who send us like a Christmas card or something, and it's like really sweet. So you can send that, but just don't. Just be good. Just be good. Respect yourself.
Yes.
So yeah, but if you're more of an email person, you can find us at thehauntedheartpodcast@gmail.com, and we would love to hear from you there as well. We do welcome topic suggestions, so if there's some shit that you guys want us to talk about, please shoot us an email, and we will, it just helps us track it better through email if you send it there, as opposed to just like any other random social media outlet. Mm-hmm. Things
This is
tend
true.
to get lost that way, so.
This is true.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I think that's the housekeeping.
You have sufficiently kept this house.
I have. I keep this house. You see.
This house is clean. As Zelda Rubinstein
It
said,
is.
God rest her soul. So yes, am I supposed to sign off?
You are. I'm pretty sure you were also supposed to do the housekeeping because I just screamed about Mothman for an hour.
I've
and a half.
never done the housekeeping.
I
You
think you
literally
used to.
always do the housekeeping.
Really? No, I think you used to. I think
Really?
I think we used to trade it off. Yeah, we totally did.
I mean, do you want me to do it again? Do you want me to do the housekeeping? I'll do it if you want me to.
Don't do it again.
I'll do it if you want me to. But no, I'll sign us off. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. playing for you this evening as the Titanic.
Oh God!
As the Titanic begins to sink. It's kind of how like I imagine it actually, the Titanic sinking. But no. Until next time, folks. Like the Mothman, we're out of here. We're flying away. We'll be back with our beady little red eyes next week with another creepy story. And until next time, stay spooky.